Hi, and welcome to another edition of I Gotta Name This Thing. I'm Nace Flaw, and I don't know. I'm leaning towards Spite Incorporated. I use that when websites ask what your business is. I usually put that Spite Inc. I'll have to see what the availability of that is because I don't want to be one of those people that takes Pepsi and then it gets confusing because it makes it very hard for people to Google you and hunt you down. Like Citation Needed. Citation Needed on black-ring.net. It was the first podcast to have that name, which was surprising because you would think that it would be very popular and somebody would use it. They were the first, and then some Tumblr, this blog that came along and put out ridiculous stuff about Wikipedia, decided to break into podcasting, and suddenly there's confusion and people going, wait, but it's the same name, and this one's clean and this one's explicit, and what do I do? So yeah, I don't want to get involved in that again. Anyway, websites. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Own it. Own your own domain and website. Have one, first of all. Bands especially piss me off because they'll claim that their website is their Facebook page. And sometimes they have the audacity to have like the long, drawn-out URL. They don't even have the shortened one yet, and they say that's their Facebook page. No social media page that you get for free is your website. For multiple reasons, security reasons, just branding. And what if it goes out of favor? Like everybody loved MySpace. Everybody had, myspace.com/blackring. Like, ooh. But then it's a joke now. So what do you do with that page? How long do you keep it? So it's just easier to find something that is your own, and then you have control of it. Owning a domain is only like $10, and then you can point it somewhere. If temporarily you just want to point it at your Facebook page, fine, do that. But in the end, you can change that, and nobody will, begrudge you. But then you gotta keep tabs on it too. If you do eventually have content, keep tabs on it. Make sure it's at least up to date. I would say quarterly. Check that all your links work. You're linking to different articles, or actually just recently, Twitter or WordPress. I'm not sure which one did it. Or not WordPress, but a plugin of theirs. I'm forgetting the name of it, Air or something, whatever. But it's a very popular plugin. They just suddenly decided to change their Twitter widget and didn't seem to tell anybody. So until I went on to my site, and I have 4 different Twitter widgets going down the side, and all of them are saying, please update your widgets. Like, that looks bad on me. It's a good thing I checked. If I went for months without checking that stuff, and people go for years without checking anything, and they just don't own it. And it looks like crap. It just looks terrible on them. You have to own it. It is part of your marketing. It's no matter what kind of business you have, whether you're freelancing or selling something, building something, making music, whatever, you should have a website. If you have a business that has print ads, you should have the website in the print ads, which is another reason why you should have one URL, and not a social media site, because years from now, if somebody finds this print ad, they can go, oh, I can go to black-ring.net. They don't try to go to, MySpace, or today I deleted my Vampire Freaks page. When was the last time you went to a Vampire Freaks page, honestly? Even when it was semi-popular, I never went there, because their site still looks like crap. I don't know how they do it. It just, the designers are always drunk or something. I don't get the appeal of such a rigged site. Um, and that's another thing. If you do have content, if you're going to build something, make sure that somebody, the person that's building it, it doesn't have to be you. You can pay somebody. You can find somebody's kid brother that knows some HTML. But find somebody that knows what they're talking about to some extent. You have no idea how many people I talk to who, when designing their site, they want to put music on it. And they don't understand why certain companies, certain web builders will refuse that. And there's a lot of reasons. If you're unclear on why music on a website is bad, I mean, you can of course get embeddable widgets like YouTube or Bandcamp or something like that. But in general, they want it like to start up. And even those widgets have their downside, because if you put it on one page and it doesn't remain static, well then the music's going to stop as soon as I move away from that page. And you may tell yourself, oh, well, this will keep people on my page, but then let's say you have a 4-minute song. Do you have 4 minutes worth of content? Because if I'm looking at your contact page, I'm not going to stay there for 4 minutes. Even if I needed to contact you, I'm going to find the method I want and be out of there. 30 seconds, tops. So why have that song keep stopping? And then you have the autoplay music, which nobody thinks that's a good idea. Like, oh, sweet, I go to this website and, hey, music starts blaring out of nowhere. That's terrific. And God help you, now in the time of tabs, it happens in a tab that you can't find. And then there's the mad dash to, where the hell is that tab? Shut that the hell off. And then people hate your site. Leaves a bad taste in their mouth. They don't ever want to visit you again. Just avoid music. Unless you're a band, and then try to do it as creatively and as unobtrusive as possible. Obtrusive? I'm not sure if that's the right word. Unoffensive is definitely the right word. But try to do it in a creative way that doesn't annoy people. And try to get somebody that's not a yes man to look it over and be like, yeah, you know, that kind of sucks. Sorry. Because there are trends. There are trends in web design and what people like. You don't always have to go with them. Personally, I like to go simple. Very simple, very minimalist. You can never go wrong with minimalism, because then it's all the extra stuff that people hate. You know, nobody's ever like, oh man, that thing that has only what I want is terrible. Minimalism. I like it. May not be for you. It depends on your project. Again, own your site. One of the reasons I started Philly GI is because of there's a disconnect in the Philadelphia scene. I don't know when it happened, but as technology grew and social media grew and we just kind of accepted it, it wasn't just MySpace. Now there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's the personal sites, there's SoundClouds and Bandcamps, and there's just a lot of things going on. People aren't connecting their social media and their website. So if you have the patience to sign up for 20 different social media sites, then God bless you. I don't. I want like 3, and I want them linked together so I can post to one and bam, done. All the other 3 are posted to as well. And it's very simple to do. You can link Facebook and Twitter. They don't like each other. For some reason, they always want to disconnect. So every couple weeks, you gotta make sure that things are getting through. At least in my experience, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it's healthy to check that things are going as you expect. You can't just trust that they are, especially in the digital world. I had tons of sites linking to a website called Internet DJ. InternetDJ.com/blackring. It seems pretty simple. All the users were just the main domain / username. Real simple. I don't know why anybody would ever change that. I go there today, and it's /user / whatever your username was. Like, why add that subdirectory? Don't get it. But now all my links are wrong. So it's important to keep everything clean, everything working. Make sure that you're updating things. Like I said, I had that Vampire Freaks page. I never updated that. I got it just to try, and then I never stopped using it. I found another site, soundclick.com. I don't even know what it is, but it had 2 tracks off the first Black Ring album from back in 2006 that, like, why those 2 tracks? And I didn't even listen to it. I mean, it may have been something like a demo version. May have been really old. Didn't even know it existed. I'm lucky that I kind of guessed the login, so I deleted that account. Because you don't want these half-assed things. I mean, what if somebody came along and listened to one of those 2 raw tracks from 7 years ago and thought, wow, that band is crap, and never went any farther than that? They wouldn't realize that that was 7 years ago. I can produce a better track than that. I think so. I believe so. But they don't even give me the chance, and now in their brains it's just associated Black Ring equals crappy. So there you go. And link all your stuff. Link it, everything that you're doing. With Philly GI, I did it because I wanted to find a particular Philadelphia event. I used to run Philly Goth back in the day, around college. And I stopped because web hosting became an issue due to domain, blah, blah, blah. I just stopped. That's all you need to know. And years later, I'm trying to find an event, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of Philly goth industrial-based event page anymore. And I couldn't find it. It took me like 10 minutes to find this event. And then I find, like, there's conflicting information. There's one thing on Facebook that says this, and there's one thing on Twitter that says this, and then the venue was saying a completely different time and price point, and I realized that as our social media grew, of course you have these certain groups. Certain people prefer Twitter, certain people prefer Facebook, and they kind of congregate. And then you have the weird things on Facebook, like people want to create users for their events, and then people want to create groups, but the groups aren't really groups. They're not, a bunch of people communicating. It's not a discussion. It's just one person with the rights to post their information. So you're basically, you just made a page, but you have to invite people or accept invites to get them in. So through all these weird groups and weird habits, you have a lot of disconnects. There's a lot of people that you go onto their Facebook page and they have a website, and the website's not on it. So if I'm new, how do I know that you have a website if I found your Facebook page? I don't. And I may not give the effort to try to find it. If your Facebook page isn't that impressive, maybe, depending on what your product is, maybe I'm not going to look any farther. Which is another reason to make your Facebook page, make everything as impressive as possible. But then link everything, so people just keep wanting information, and they can get it. It's all fresh, no matter where they go. It's consistent, and they can peruse your information in their favorite way. Like, I prefer reading Facebook. I prefer posting things to Twitter, but you always have that. There's 1 or 2 Twitter people that you follow that just are like posting every 5 minutes, and I just don't care. Like, I want to show my solidarity. I want to show my friendship. I want to show my support, and follow you. But I really don't want to read you. and there are certain programs that I can, of course, use to block people and have them not know it. But I'm not using that all the time. And then there's Facebook, which is just much, much easier, and I can control how much info I'm picking up from a person or page. Um, but still, I appreciate the option. The Flyers, for instance, the Flyers, everything is pretty consistent with Philadelphia Flyers. Their Twitter and their Facebook are pretty much on par. But I don't want to see, during a game, I don't want to see those, 300 tweets about people scoring. Much prefer that on Facebook, easier to ignore. But anyway, but yeah, I see so many. I deal with a lot of customers that need their websites updated. They've been convinced by sales reps that they need a new page, and they're like, well, we already have a page. You can just update it from there, use that domain, etc. And you go to it and you realize it was made by like somebody's kid brother in 1997. They didn't know what they were doing. They don't know how to access the domain anymore. It's just been on auto renew and auto pay. And they're not talking to that kid's parents anymore, so you can't even contact him to get the info. And then what are you going to do? And you try to suggest to them, well, we can buy a new domain name for you, and they go, but all of our business cards already have this, all of our print advertising, the side of our truck has this. And it's like, so you went to those extremes. You have all these methods of people knowing what the site is, but you have no idea what content is even there or how to access it. That seems really foreign, really bizarre that you would have something out there in the public and not control it to the best of your ability. There are very few things that you can control in public to varying degrees. And of course there are different trends, etc. Your website should be one of the things that you have handled. And I think I'll just leave it at that for now. I would like to, in the future, talk about different ways of handling your website, and I touched upon certain best practices, but I really want to get deeper into that later, especially with Facebook. There are so many things I just want to scream at people with Facebook and pages and groups and events and how they handle all of these. There's a right way to do it. This is not open for debate. There is a right way to do this, and many people are doing it wrong. Simple as that. Debate me if you want, but I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a while now. Anyway, I've also been talking for a while now. I should get going. So this has been another tentatively titled Spite Incorporated with Nace Flaw. Contact me on Twitter on A Coincidence, or visit black-ring.net to find all kinds of methods of sending me Facebook messages or emails or tweets or comments and replies, etc., etc., etc. Hope you're enjoying these. Have a good one. Peace.